Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, August 19th. It is 6:24 right now. Market's going to open in about 6 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Just got a few things here to update. And we should be good to go. Having some connection issues, so everything's kind of lagging a bit right now. All right. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in Premium. Send out. All right. Looks like we are good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here. Going down to the 2 hour. Down to the 1 hour. Down to the 30-minute. Down to the 15. Looks like the volatility is actually really low right now, which is pretty normal for pre-market on a Monday. Volatility should pick up here on open. Back to the 10-minute. Down to the 1 minute. And it looks like we are good to go. So looking at the ATR today, guys, ATR is currently at 7. So yeah, the volatility is actually really low right now. I don't think there's news today either, so there's not much of a catalyst to really push price around. Yeah, we got Fed Waller speaking today, but not much. We have some long pack news at 7 o'clock. CB leading index month over month forecasted to be negative. About 2 minutes, guys. So good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, August 19th. Hopefully everyone had a great weekend. Market was kind of rangy last week, so hopefully it picks back up this week. That's kind of what I'm expecting. Typically the weeks will fluctuate. You'll get a choppy week, a sideways week, directional week, and a very volatile week. Volatile week goes on NFP week, of course, and now it's hopefully going to be a little bit smoother. So we have the first level of liquidity right here that just got triggered. It's at 40,844. It's right at the sessions, which is the London high. We have the next lower level over here, 40,775. And if price decides to climb up higher, we have another liquidity over here sitting where the Asia high is. We have a bunch of sessions right here sitting, so it's going to be tough to really look for some entries around that area. But, obviously we'll continue to look here if we find anything. So yeah, it's going to be tough to take any entries around this area here, guys, because there's just so many areas of sessions above. So we got that first level of liquidity right there that just got hit. Price is currently sitting at the London high. I'm going to mark this up as the opening price. We have a market flow entry setting up right here, but it's right at the session, so I'm not going to take that trade. You can see how price came down, bounced off the pivot, came right back up. Not exactly the area because there's so many sessions right here. I would like to take some buys because retail sentiment is currently 74% short. This indicates that 74% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So we typically want to do the opposite and buy. That's kind of what I'm looking for right now. The only problem is that we have so many sessions around this area. So I really need price to push out of this area right here. I need price to climb up higher above this area. Easy to trade within this middle area right here because there are so many sessions. We have the London high right here. We have the New York high, and we have the Asia also aligned with the Asia high. So it's an area of manipulation. Again, it's just a tricky area to be trading in, this whole middle area right here. There we go. This price kind of shoots back up higher. That's what I was looking for. So we got price pushing up right here. Liquidity got hit. Basically, both levels of liquidity got hit right now. The one that was right here at the London high and the one right here at the Asia high. Liquidity is pretty much done with at this lower level. I don't think there's any more liquidity up here, at least not anywhere nearby. The next level of liquidity is at 41,305. So it's pretty far up. We're basically up in open space now. So this is basically just an open field of trading up here. There's not really much targets here to look for. All the sessions are down here, and the liquidity has already been hit. So I'll be looking for price to retrace down here a little bit and shoot back up higher. Now I'll be looking for some market flow entries. So it's pretty much where I wanted it to be. I needed price to get away from this middle area. I'm going to be looking for price to retrace from this area here and come right back up. There's a possible levels entry that could be setting up right here if anybody's looking to take that. Again, I'm not taking any other entry aside from the market flows. So there's a levels entry right there that just got filled. Full TP right there. So it did exactly what I just mentioned. Levels entry. Pushed up. So if you guys are looking for a levels entry, just came up right there, full TP. Nice work if you guys caught it. If you guys didn't, it's completely fine. Like I said, I'm going to wait for a market flow entry to come up. I think for my market flow entries, I might go back to taking market orders, guys. Last week, I missed about like 4 or 5 entries because I was just a little too slow, unfortunately. So I'm going to stick to market entries. I'm going to watch how price is moving, and I'll probably just be looking to take market entries when the entry gets filled. I'll put pending orders when I can, but for the most part, I'll be looking for some market orders just to click in and get in right away. Looking over here at the level 2 data. So it's pretty much balanced right now. I'm not really seeing too much on either side. I'm kind of looking for some sells to come in so I can see that retracement. And once I get that retracement, I'll look for the buys to overpower and swing right back up. The ATR is really low right now. So as you guys can see down below, we're used to seeing ATR at like 30, 40, 50, 60, even 80 on some days. The ATR is currently below 15. This is normal summer market conditions. So looks like market's pretty back to how it's for the summer. Past couple of weeks are kind of crazy with the yen news. But this is basically how market typically is. So when it's below 15, it's a little tricky because when it's below 15, you can kind of tell that the volatility is a little too low. And we don't typically like that, of course. But we can still take trades. So keep that in mind. So I'll be looking for some possible market flow entries here. Again, if the market starts to go sideways, I'm going to hold off on any entries. This is not the type of market that we want to trade in. We don't want to trade when markets being manipulated, and we also don't want to trade when price is going sideways because you get trapped in a sideways movement. And once that price breaks out of that sideways movement, you can be either really lucky or really unlucky. And that's not typically where you want to be. You don't want to be trading with luck. You want to be trading with skill, and you have to understand where price is going. So, all right, guys, we got price kind of just sitting right here right now. Sorry, guys, I'm having some connectivity issues right now. I keep getting warnings that my internet connection is unstable. So just a heads up, if I get disconnected, I don't know what's up the internet today. It was working perfectly fine. But then once we got on this live session, internet started getting a little spotty. All right, so we still got price climbing up a bit more. Perfectly fine, it's what we want. Again, I'm looking for that retracement. So price is pushed up right here. And continuation back up. Let's take a look at CNBC right now. Yeah, it looks like my internet connection. What's going on? It's just spotty right now. I can't even up CNBC. Okay, I'm back on right now. I'm not sure if anybody else is having internet connectivity issues or if it's just me, but yeah, my trading view like kind of froze up for a second. Let's go back to CNBC. It looks like my internet's back to normal. All right, so we got price coming down right here. Watching for possible market flow entries here. Looks like there could have been a market flow entry there. I just didn't catch it. I don't know if anybody else there caught it. I was just a little held off because of the pending sell signal there. I'll look for the next one. All right, on this next candle, possible market flow entry coming up. So if this candle swings red, gets close to the pivot, swings right back up, we're looking to take this here as a market flow entry. The volatility is again a little choppy here. Not quite. I need it to come down a little bit further. All right, I actually want this to close as a sell signal. So this here closes, we'll have a confirmation of retracement and a possible push up on the next continuation. So, all right, perfect. We got the sell signal right there. I'll be looking for this to swing back up. So we currently have a sell signal here, which is confirming the retracement. There's one or two things that'll likely happen. So once we have this setup here, now we're looking for price to either go on for a reversal. That's one setup. The other setup is price will come down a little bit, swing back up, and correct back to the upside, which is likely what I'm expecting here. So we got some retracement here. Price pretty much pushed up from this lower low up to here is about 125 points. I think it still has some pushing up to do. So I'll be looking for some market flow entries as it swings back up. What I'm going to be looking for here is I'm looking for price to push up, retrace, and push back up higher. So I'll be looking for a possible market flow here on the next candle. All right, let's see. This swings back up green. Looking for entry here.
Order filled.
Let's see. Oh man, I got horrible entry on that. I think I'm gonna get stopped out here. I don't see it on my, for some reason, I don't see it over here on my Apex. So my TP would have to be at the 18. Oh man, my entry was really bad here. All right, I got stopped out on that one, guys. It's all good.
Stop filled.
So I got stopped on that. I'll stop out on that for half risk. I don't know why it's not showing up on here for some reason. I mean, either way, I would have gotten stopped out. Let's see. All my Apex accounts are on. Yeah, for some reason it's not showing up on my trading view. It's okay. Even if it doesn't show up on here, I'll be looking at it on my Ninja Trader. So unfortunately, I got stopped out right here, guys. I got in a really bad entry, but either way, it would have stopped me out because you can see it came down pretty heavy from where it's currently at. I tried to catch it as it swung down, swung back up. I think I got in a little too early because I didn't put in a pending order. I just got in at market. So I'll count this right there as a loss. Unfortunately, first loss for the week. And we'll watch for the next one here. And my internet connection is being super annoying today. This one came up at 641. All right, waiting for this next one here. So that last one was at half risk, not really a big issue for me there. Watch this here. If it swings down, swings back up green, I'll take this here for a buy. Watching it right here as it swings back up. Not in yet. Let's put my pending order there. All right, so I got my pending order waiting right here for it to fill. We got 28 seconds left on this candle. If it doesn't fill, I'll cancel it. We have 20 seconds left. All right, so I'm in the position now. Let me make sure.
Order filled.
And my entries keep getting filled at like bad price points. Might get stopped out. All right, I got stopped out again. That's like one full loss for me. I took half risk on both trades. So the first one I took half risk, lost 500. Second trade right here, lost half risk, again 500. So a total loss of 1,000 for the day per account. Unfortunately, it looks like this week is kind of similar to what we were experiencing last week. We're having a lot of just not very much direction here. I thought this one was going to be good because it had a pending buy signal on it. price retraced down, shot back up, and then ended up getting, I mean, full on reversal here. So I pretty much got burnt on both ends. Yeah, that's my risk for the day. So my risk for the day is basically one full loss, which is two half risks. Basically my cap for a loss for the day is about 1,000. So I'll keep looking for entries here, but for today, I'm going to stop trading on my accounts. That's how I prevent myself from going on tilt. If you guys want to keep trading, feel free to keep trading, but I'll look for some entries here as we continue to go along. But I'm going to close out my trading view or my Ninja Trader, just so that I don't get caught in trading on tilt. If you guys are not familiar with trading on tilt is basically revenge trading and over trading. So I've already taken two losses for the day, two half losses, which equal to one full loss. My full P&L today is currently 1,200. It's 1,000 total plus 200 in fees with regard to commissions and just other fees. So it's all good. Not the way I wanted to start the week, but it's okay. So I'll keep looking here for some entries. Again, I'm looking for the same pattern here. It's just the way that the market's moving today was similar to last week, where we end up being stuck in this big range. And it's really hard to catch market flow entries because for market flow entries, we're looking for a directional move, right? We're looking for something like this, or to the downside, something like this here. So if you guys are at your max risk for the day, I don't know what risk you guys are using, but for me, I just half my risk in half, so I can take two trades for the day. If I have two back-to-back losses, I'm done. And that's exactly what happened today. So let's see, iPhone said I happen to take that one for a sell due to your divergence. Had crossed down, the 940 candle hit the green pivot, turned red again, so I took it. Yeah, I mean, it looked good for the most part, right? Like this one right here, I think should have been a solid entry. Which one was it? This one right here, but it's all good. I mean, it's part of the game. You gotta understand when it's not your day. Today's definitely not my day. So I'll put this over here in the Discord. So everything went as planned though. So looking at the trades for today, these trades came on before 7 o'clock. So the thing with these entries is even though I took a loss here, I still followed my rules. So these trades came before 7 o'clock. There's no red flags in the area. The setup actually looked good to me personally when I first saw it, but it's still lost. So followed my rules, took the loss, and I'm gonna move on with it. So I'll start trading again tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have we'll find ourselves back in some win streaks. And then from there we can bounce back from today's losses. But if you guys want to keep trading, feel free. I'll keep looking for some more entries here. So my analysis won't stop just because I'm done trading. I'll keep looking for some entries here and I'll show you guys if there's anything else that may come up. So one thing that you might want to look for here is possibly a breakout V3 continuation. To find that, you want to find a buy signal that comes up, have it continued with a green candle, and then I'll possibly continue pushing up from there. But yeah, I was really hoping this range would be done because last week the range was just nonstop. It's pretty much every day. You can see here that the range is still back. So let me just mark up the structure. So the range is currently from 950 and 850. So we have a 100-point range right now. Okay, I see what happened. For some reason, my Tradeovate is logged into this chart right here. That's why you guys can see my arrows. It wasn't on this chart, that's why I didn't show up. But on this one over here, you guys can see my entries. I just got caught on the fake outs. Like I really thought this right here. So here's a clean chart. It's easier to see. This is what I was seeing over here from this first entry. Price came up, came down. It's looking for the correction back up. Same with this one right here. Got in for the second push back up, but it ended up just coming back down further. So it's all good. But our current range is between the 950, which is right here, and the 850 down here. As long as you guys are taking proper risk with your trades, you shouldn't have any problem eating these losses, right? I just want to remind you guys that because I know a lot of people here over leverage. I mean, it's a beginner issue that a lot of people run into, right? For me, I'm taking less than a 1% risk. I'm taking a 0.5% risk per trade. I'm not making a lot of profit, but I'm also not losing a lot. So I'm not really being affected by the losses when they do happen because I understand that they happen, right? That's just part of the game. Um, so hopefully by the end of this week, we'll swing back into a win streak and we'll be able to we'll all be able to bounce back. I'm not sure if anybody else took those entries with me, but I just got to take these losses here and bounce forward. So we got price projecting off the lower range right here, which is the 850 mark. In order for me to look for some sells here, I need the trend here to actually switch over. Looking at retail sentiment, I mean, the retail sentiment's still on the sell side. So this is why I was more inclined to take buys. Looking over here on the retail sentiment, it's currently 75% short. This indicates that 75% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So what I would expect here is a correction back up. I don't know when it'll happen, but I think eventually it will happen because there's a lot of retail traders on the sell side. So with this many retail traders on the sell side, I'm expecting some sort of correction here to happen. Back to the upside. Yeah, exactly. Juice it back to open, probably going to chill here for now. Yeah, I can see that. So price basically came back to open right here. It's bouncing directly off it. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if this swings all the way back up. And the same thing happened today that happened to me last week. So if you guys remember right here, the first entry actually came through, which was this green one. And then I end up getting caught in all of the fake outs back down. So there was one entry that came up right here. This is the first one that came up. I totally missed this one because it happened so quickly. And I was also having internet connectivity issues. This one would have been good because if I took this one would have won, this one would have lost, and this one would have lost. But then I still would have been at just one loss for the day. I could have continued trading. I just gotta be a little bit quicker. This is the same thing that happened on Friday. If you guys remember on Friday, we had like basically 2 or 3 wins that happened initially, and then I missed those. But then when we had the next trades, I ended up losing the following two. So it would have been 3 wins and 2 losses, would have been a net positive for that day. It's just the market volatility isn't very consistent. So the ATR is a little higher right now. It's back to 21, but it's not necessarily back to 30. So there's a possible market flow entry setting up right here, guys. One thing that Nick mentioned to me yesterday was NQ. So I might take a look at NQ today as well, just to see if it's moving smoother. I know Nick, I don't know if you're here right now, but Nick said he moved over to NQ. He's not even trading YM anymore for now because of this market structure. Like the way that the market's moving right now, it's not really beneficial for like a lot of strategies. It's really hard to trade. Like for example, right here, there's just no consistency with the direction. There's depending market flow, but it's not going to fill. So there's no market flow right there. Again, you want to wait for it to push up, retrace and push back from there. But yeah, as you guys can see, YM hasn't really been a good instrument to trade lately. Yeah, Drew said NQ moves way too fast for him. Yeah, and same here. That's why I don't like trading NQ. YM is it's a good equalizer in between, but the problem with YM is that there's just no direction. It ends up going into these ranges for a long period of time. And it's just not beneficial. It's just super annoying. Yeah, Drew said RAM spikes with NQ all the time. Let's take a look at NQ real quick. There's no entries here, guys, so don't worry. You're not missing out on anything. We need price to push up and continue climbing in order for us to take some buys here. We can't take any sells here yet until price actually converts. So until it transfers over to the downside with regard to the trend, there's not going to be any sells here to be taken. So let me go over here to NQ real quick. I'll just take a really quick peek to see how it's moving. Okay, so looking at this right here, this could be a possible market flow for a sell for NQ. But yeah, just like what Drew just said, NQ does move a little too fast. So it might be a little tricky to to trade this even. Um, the thing with NQ is that it's super choppy too. So like for today, it's actually pretty choppy here. It moved directional just like it did for YM. And then now it's pretty choppy right here down the middle. So I don't think it really makes a huge difference for today specifically. Super wicky here. Yeah, like this would have been completely missed. There's no way we could have taken this market flow because the pivots weren't even touching it yet. Let's go back to YM. Yeah, I think YM is still a better asset, Hunter, because it's still like, even though it's not as volatile, it's a little more smoother. Like catching market flow bounces off this are not exactly that difficult. It's just you'll get caught on the wrong side when it's ranging like this sideways. All right, so price is climbing back up right here, guys. You might have a possible market flow entry that could be setting up. There's also a pending buy signal on here, so this could be a possible breakout B3 continuation setting up. All right, we got price climbing up right here. Again, if price retraces down from this area, it could be a possible market flow entry. All right, no market flow here yet because price hasn't actually closed above the pivots. It feels like Trap Tuesday today, the way the market's currently moving. It's not really moving smooth at all, and there's a lot of traps here being set up. I mean, it looks like price is trying to get above, but it's like not having any luck. It keeps getting close to it, and you can see from these wicks here, price tries to get past the pivots, and then as soon as it gets above, it just comes crashing right back down to the sessions. See, the weird thing is that there's not really much going on in the market that's causing. I mean, this is all basically being manipulated right now. There's not too much going on. There's no catalyst in the market to push price around. There's just no direction. Yeah, CJ said it has to get far enough from this tri-session area to move better. I agree 100%. This session right here is not a good area to be trading in, guys. There's 3 sessions right here in this one area. So, I mean, you can expect a lot of manipulation to happen within this area. So just expect price to either bounce off the pivot and shoot right back up, or for price to break below, fake out, and come right back up. Oh, there's just too many scenarios. Um, Obviously, you guys know this is a red flag here, or these are red flags. All these horizontal lines, actually. We have the Asia high, London high, New York high, and also opening price right here. So you can see how price is having trouble getting past the structure here. I marked up this level earlier, the 850 mark. Price is having a lot of trouble getting past it. I'll draw a support zone right here. All right, so here's our clean chart. You guys can see there's not really too much going on. But what I would look for is the correction to the upside, guys. So again, I'm still more convinced that price is going to push up than come down. Again, because the retail sentiment is currently 74% short. Um, I'm out of trades for the day, so I can't take any more. But if you guys do want to look for some trades, again, there's some opportunity there. All right, we got price finally pushing away from this area. That's exactly what we were looking for. You guys can possibly look for some market flow entries here now. This price comes down and swings back up. All right, so no market flow entry here yet. We have news right here at 7 o'clock, guys. It's low impact, just a heads up. you guys want to trade through it, feel free. But if you want to hold off and wait for the news to pass, that'd probably be my advice. Let's wait for price and news to pass here. So I'm looking through to see if there was any other entries here that would have hit. And it looks like there could have been a possible V1 variation right here, but I don't think this would have hit. That would hit stop loss too right there. So the entry that we took earlier, there's actually a lot of confluences right there. I think we lost on this trade. This is the first trade we took at 641. There was actually a lot of confluences here. There was a V1 variation. There was a market flow entry. I mean, there's just a lot of things here that should have played out. So with that being said, I think this market is, I mean, to say the least, is a very tricky market. There's a CV entry here that actually played through. So if you guys see the CV entry right here, this is a reversal pattern. So price did reverse from here. There was a low with the red candle, smaller green candle to follow. And it looks like price is now starting to make its correction to the upside. But yeah, so now that I'm looking back to the entry that we took earlier that we lost, I think the losses from today that I took were fair losses. So I'm okay with those losses that I ate today, those two losses that we had, because I'm looking back at it and like there's so many confluences here that indicate that, okay, like these were actually good entries, just ended up getting caught on basically this fake out reversal right here before it came back up. But this is what we were looking for. So we were looking for a price to actually correct to the upside, and this is now what's happening. So we got news price right here. I'm gonna color this pink. And we'll see where this goes. Man, I'm ready for the summer market to be over. Uh, these are normal conditions for the summer market. This is why a lot of people don't trade during the summer because you just have a lot of sideways movement. This happens every summer, and I always say the same thing every summer. I wish there was, well, I mean, not really. So there's people have been asking me lately, like, if they should just take a break from trading. You guys should never take a break from trading. If you guys have ever taken a break from trading, like 1 day or 2 days is fine. But if you take a whole week off trading, when you come back, it's like learning brand new again. I've talked to a lot of people about this. Some people asked me if that was normal because some people took some breaks for a couple months. They came back and they felt like they were learning everything brand new again. Like nothing made sense to them and they just couldn't flow with the market. So if you guys ever do want to take a break from trading, my advice is to not take the break. It's okay to take a few days break, but taking, more than a week off, you're not going to you're not going to be able to follow the markets like you did before. It's going to be like I know a lot of people want to take that reset, but if you guys do feel like you need to take a break, like say for example, if you're on a losing streak and you feel like you need to take a break because your accounts aren't doing so well, if that's the case, then you should continue trading, but on a demo account, just so that your brain is continuously, adapting with the market. Because you can be in a really good market and then you take a break, or you can be in a really bad market and you take a break and you come back and the market's good. You're not going to be able to adapt with the market that quickly. It's going to take you like another couple of weeks for you to get back into like flow state. And that's just from my experience, guys. So I'm just telling you guys like what I think and how I feel about taking breaks. Because the thing is, I've never taken a break from trading since I started trading full time. I think I've been trading live with you guys here every day for about 8 years now. So every day I've been trading with you guys. Sometimes I'll take like a day break for miscellaneous reasons if I'm like out of town or if internet connection issues or stuff like that. But I never take more than like 2 days off, even during the holidays. Like during Christmas, during Thanksgiving, I'm excited to come back into the market. So just just a reminder. Yeah, Drew said he's trading on demo currently, which is perfectly fine, guys. It's okay to go back to demo. If you guys are not having, if you guys are like your mindset isn't there, it's fine to go to demo for a while. And then once you feel confident again, go back to another account, funded account or personal account, etc., whichever fits your criteria. But yeah, that's just a question that I've been getting a lot lately. Should you take a break? And the answer is no. Definitely should never take a break. All right, guys, so there's no market flow entries here right now. The thing that you guys want to be careful for is that these candles are getting smaller and smaller, so you might go into consolidation here. And the market today is just not really what we're looking for. This is typical summer market conditions. Again, for these summer market conditions, the entries that you typically want to look for would be V1 variations and CV patterns because it's those are meant for sideways markets. We're currently in a sideways market here. If you guys can't tell, we're in a sideways market. Look at this right here. So you guys can see the range that I drew earlier this morning. This is the same range. I didn't touch anything. I left it as is. Price is pretty much respecting the structure that I drew. So I drew structure here. I mentioned the range is currently between the 950 and the 850. And that's exactly where price is going, right? You can still trade within this range. It's just ideally you'd want to look for reversal patterns because if you look for those reversal patterns, you can catch the tops and bottoms. So if you see a reversal pattern up here, you can catch the top. If you caught the CV pattern that happened right here, you could have caught the bottom. You could have rode this bounce up. So there's ways to trade these types of markets. It's just I don't typically trade sideways markets. I just wait for the price to break out of these sideways markets and then I look for the direction. But if you want to trade the sideways markets, again, the two strategies that you want to look at, or just the whole plan that you want to look for would be the variation strategies. There's about 4 different variations that you can apply. Variation V1, variation V2, variation V3, and of course the consolidation variation. So there's 4 different variation patterns that you can look for in these types of markets. I typically don't trade them very much. I just use them as a confluence. There was a point in time where we did apply the V1 variation. That was like one of our main strategies, but I just don't apply it as often because it doesn't come up as often. These sideways markets don't typically last like this for very long. The only time I applied the V1 variation a lot was during probably 2 summers ago. If you guys traded with me 2 summers ago, you guys remember the market was like literally doing this the entire day. So like the only way we could trade was if we took the V1 variation. There was no directional movements. I mean, there wasn't really much of anything really. One thing that a lot of people are applying, so I think Kip, I don't know if Kip's here. Kip's like main strategy that he likes to apply is the pivot scalp, right? The pivot scalp still works perfectly fine, guys. So if you guys do the pivot scalp, I think Kip does it for a 30-30. There's a pivot scalp that just came up right here. I don't know if he does a 30-30 or 25-25, but there goes a pivot scalp right there. If you want to trade the ATR, it can be 20-20. So this is basically one of the very first strategies that I used to apply a long time ago. Again, this is a directional strategy. It works very fine. If you guys saw Kip's profits from last week, so Kip made about like 6,000 per account, and he mainly trades pivot scalps. So just a reminder, guys, I mean, there's so many different strategies out there that you guys can apply. There's liquidity right here that just got hit. It just depends on what's your preference. If you like taking pivot scalps, the pivot scalps are still a very good entry, a good strategy to take. You can see again, it happened right here. Price broke and closed above the structure. This was pre-market though, but even if you took it right here, you still would have had your entry right there for a pivot scalp. Pivot scalp's a one-to-one strategy. All right, so we got nothing really going on here. We have a high-low scalp that came up right here. I mean, not what I necessarily take because it looks a little bit overextended. Measuring from this lower price point right here to here, it's about 100 points. Yeah, the volatility right now is pretty low. So if you guys look at the ATR, we haven't been able to get past 20 this entire day. It's a big change from what we're used to over the past couple of weeks. Typically, we're at like 30 ATR. Right now, it's just pretty flat. All right, we'll keep looking for entries here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll just keep looking for entries here. It's 7:09 right now. It's currently at the upper level of the range. Let me just take off the structure here. So it's at the upper level of the range right now, the 950 mark. Again, if you guys are looking to take, the reversal patterns, you probably want to look for some sort of reversal pattern here. Because it's currently at the upper level of the range. So if you get a V1 variation or a CV pattern, something like that, this will probably pull back into the range from there. Otherwise, we'll see if it continues climbing. So this is pretty much the market that I was looking for earlier. So right here where I got caught in my losses, this is pretty much what I was looking for price to do. Unfortunately, we just got caught in the fake out right there, or I got caught in the fake out. But this is basically the pattern that we were looking for. We're looking for price to push up, retrace, continue up higher from here. I was hoping that was going to be the case right here. Like this is literally what I thought was going to happen here. Price is going to climb up, retrace, continue up higher. But, unfortunately, that wasn't the case here. So again, you're looking for the retracement at this point. Price is having trouble getting past the 950 mark right here, which is the upper level range. So there's one of two things that are going to happen here. Price is either going to have trouble getting past it and correct back down into the range, or it's going to break above, retest, and climb up higher. My guess is that price is going to fake out around this area. I think it's going to lure in some buyers, fake out a little bit, and then come right back down. That's just my guess because there's been a lot of fake outs happening, over the past couple of weeks, and that's typically what happens when people get overly confident. I think right now people are just, the reason why I think that is because price is overextended. So if you measure from this lower price point right here up to here, it's like 100 points up. I mean, it's not overextended, but with regard to the current volatility, this would be considered overextended. The ATR is currently at 17. Again, it's not having any luck getting past 20. So we'll see what happens. Let's see, Drewsy got 15 when it retraced to half of that big candle speculative trade. Oh, from this one right here, Drew? Yeah, I can see that. I mean, that was a good area to take it too because price is having trouble getting past the upper range right here. So again, if you guys are looking for that reversal, my guess is that price is going to correct back down and possibly fill this big green candle right here. So there's no V1 variation patterns here at all. We have a possible market flow entry right here. I'm not taking it, but if it does swing back up, possible market flow there. So it hasn't filled yet. It's got 30 seconds left on it, though. It's got a lot of time. It's got 20 seconds left. It's got 15 seconds. There's not going to be an entry here for market flow. There's no entry there. So from looking at the current market conditions, I mean, it looks like the levels entries are actually hitting pretty often. So right here, market opened at 6:30, price pushed up. There's a levels entry right there that hit full TP. Again, right here, price came below. came back up, closed right there, another levels entry right there. So there's two levels entries that hit, one right here and one right here. I'm keeping an eye out on what strategies are hitting right now. So it looks like for one, the levels entry is hitting. For two, the pivot scalp entries are hitting. And for three, the CV entries are hitting. So just keep that in mind. If you guys want to take note or keep a tally of that, I mean, I'll probably keep a tally of that too. So strategies hitting this week, and I'll just put levels, CV, pivot scalp. I'll just keep a tally of those so that we can see, if we need to make some changes to the strategy, or not really changes to the strategy, but change what we're focusing on, that could be the case. Because every week's slightly different, especially during the summer. Some weeks are going to be more volatile. Like I said, I was hoping this week was going to be more volatile and directional, but we're not really getting that. We're kind of just getting, I mean, for the most part, like sideways movement here again. All right, so price is doing exactly what we just discussed. So I said price was at the upper level of the range. Probably expect a reversal back to the range. And that's exactly what happened here. So this is typically what we look for in the summer. Like when we have a summer market like this and it's not really moving directional at all, we look for the range. So we already marked up the upper range here, lower range right here. Now, if you're looking for an entry, you probably want to look for a reversal pattern. So look for a V1 variation to come up somewhere around here. This could be a possible CV pattern. If this candle closes green, this could be a possible CV entry. Candle has about 38 seconds left on it. So if you guys are looking for entry, I'll follow it here for you guys. I'm not going to take it again. I'm done trading for the day because I've pretty much capped out. I've maxed out my cap for the day. So I can't take any more trades. I just take a mental lockout of my account. My Ninja's still on, but I'm not taking any trades, of course. I'm just watching. There's a bunch of buy orders here, so I think this is going to swing back up. I'm looking at the level 2 right now. So again, if this candle closes green, possible CV entry. It's not closing green, so there's not going to be a CV entry there, guys. Yeah. These big candles come out of nowhere. So again, you have like, this is what throws me off the most because you guys can see how these candles here are super small. You have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 really small candles, and you get a big breakout candle. And then again, same with this one right here. You get about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 normal candles, and then you get this huge, huge candle right here. So it's really easy to get caught in these fake outs. So I'm pretty satisfied with my losses for the day because, I mean, I'm glad we didn't really get caught. There's nothing here to take, but I'm glad I didn't get caught in these fake outs right here because these are even worse. I feel like if I lost a trade in like this area right here, I would have felt more discouraged to trade. At least for the trades that we took over here, everything kind of lined up. The analysis was good, everything lined up. It's just we got caught in this push to the downside right here. But for these over here, like these are like enough to destroy someone's account, right? Because this candle is huge. Like every candle over here moved pretty small, and then this one over here was like a 50-point candle. So I think if anybody took a loss right here, there shouldn't have been any losses here because there was no entries that were able to be taken. But if there was a loss that was taken there, this would have been pretty devastating because this is obviously a huge manipulated candle. There's no news today. There's nothing here really causing any catalyst to push price down like that. So there's no reason for price to get a huge drop. We have a CV pattern that's coming up right here, guys. It's at the sessions though, so it's not really a good entry for me personally, but this is a CV entry right here. So again, these are the entries that I mentioned you guys should be looking for if you're looking to take a trade within this range. The only problem is that it's in between the sessions right here. So it's just not a good area to be trading in. If you got a CV somewhere up here, then okay, great. Look for that reversal pattern. and then catch on its way back up. But because right here it's at the sessions, you could still technically take the entry, but what I would prefer is put a pending order. So just put a pending order right here, and then as it swings up, it'll catch it and then it'll go right back up. Basically a market flow type entry. So here, if you would have entered at this point, this would have been you'd be in a better case scenario because price came down for the fake out, and now it's probably going to push up where it's supposed to go. But for me personally, I just wouldn't have taken the trade at all. I wouldn't want to put myself in a situation where I'm trading at chance. Um, it's just tricky. It's tricky when you're trading at chance because then you don't really have a strategy that you're following. You're kind of hoping that price will go in your direction. But I mean, nevertheless, there's a CB pattern right here. So this is a CB pattern, and it's also lined up with a V1 variation pattern. It's a double wick rejection, and it's also a CB pattern. The only downside to where it's currently at is that it's within the sessions right here. So you guys can see how price is kind of whipsawing back and forth within this area. That's normal because you can see over here, whenever price comes down to these points, that's typically what happens. So a lot of whipsaws right here, some more whipsaws right here. It's pretty much the same scenario. So let's go over here to the clean chart. Let me turn on the sessions over here so you guys can see it a little better. All right, so you guys can see right there, right? Whenever price comes down to this area right here where the sessions are at, see how price gets highly manipulated? You can pretty much get stopped out in either direction. You can take it for a buy, but you can easily get stopped out on the sell side as well. Take it for a sell, you get stopped out because price spikes up. You take it for a buy, you get stopped out because price spikes back down. So that's why I created this indicator so that you guys can see where not to trade. Not to say that you can't trade down there, but you probably shouldn't because it's typically where a lot of manipulation happens. But again, right here, let me turn off the sessions. Price is back within the range. Oh man, I hate these types of markets. These are like literally the worst markets to trade in. All right, so let's see again if we get some market flow entries here. So again, looking for this to swing up, retrace, come back up. There could be some possible market flow entries here again. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. My job here is to help you guys out. I'm not trading right now on my account, so I have a lot of free time here to answer whatever questions you guys need help with. If there's a strategy you want me to review, feel free to pop into the chat. A lot of people have been asking if I can host mentoring sessions again. I'm okay with that. I'm open with that. So if you guys want me to have a mentoring session, I think we could probably have one next week. Let me check my calendar real quick. Yeah. So if you guys want one next Monday, like if you guys want to go back to the regular schedule for Monday mentoring sessions, just feel free to let me know. I'll come if people are asking for it, but if nobody's going to show, then it's kind of pointless. So just let me know if you guys want to have a mentoring session on Monday, and then we'll host like we used to. All right, guys, we got price pushing up right here. There's still no opportunity. I mean, there's possibly a market flow entry right here if anybody's looking to take that. Yeah, there was a market flow entry right there. I don't know if anybody saw that. It happened super quickly. Let's see. CJ said he's down for a mentoring session Monday. Okay, perfect. So we'll start next Monday. Let me check the calendar again. So we could do it next Monday for sure. And then the following week, we'll plan it on another day. Or we'll see if we'll see how the next session goes. If a lot of people show up, and I'll keep doing it again regularly. If there's not that many people, then it's kind of pointless because we can answer those questions here. But yeah, so we'll do it next Monday. So guys, just a heads up, next Monday, 2 p.m. we'll have our group mentoring session like we used to have in the past. We used to have it every week. And yeah, I mean, I'll pretty much answer questions and I'll pretty much look at examples of the market flow. The problem with the market flow entries is that I can't really show them during replay because you can't see how the candles move live. Like for example, this candle right here, there's no way you could have seen that this was a market flow entry unless you actually, saw it happening live. But we'll try to go over some examples there. I do want to go back into mentoring at some point, guys. It's just right now I just don't have time. I got too many things on my plate. So I just don't have the time or the effort to really go back to teaching and mentoring. The whole hedge fund thing is it's just over my head. I'm tired of studying for the test and I just want to take it already. So I might just take the test and then if I don't pass on my first try, I'll just take it again. I just gotta wait 30 days to take it a second time. It's just studying's not my thing, so it's the main thing that's holding me back from finally starting the fund up. But it's all good because I didn't plan on starting the fund until later this year anyways. All right, guys, possible market flow entry again, setting up right here. You want to look for price to push down, retrace, bounce off the pivot, and continue up from here. So this is what we are looking at next. Another possible market flow entry. There was one market flow entry here that came up. If you guys saw it, full TP on that one. And we're looking for another one here. All right, so price is going sideways again right here. This is literally what we're not looking for. We don't want price to go sideways like this, but that's the type of market that we're in. So looking over here again, guys, I'll just go back real quick. So here's our clean chart. You guys can see there's no direction today. It's the same back and forth movement that we were experiencing last week. I was really hoping this week was going to be different, but as of now, it's not really much different from last week. Last week was a little brutal. I mean, I was talking to Nick about it a couple days ago. Like last week was pretty brutal because we had some pretty good wins on Monday. I think we had like 4 wins, and then it slowly deteriorated as the week progressed. I think Monday was the only directional day from last week, and then every other day was pretty much sideways. All right, so again, right here, guys, if you're looking for a market flow, I don't see any other entries here. There's a pivot scalp here. So if you guys took the pivot scalp, looks like that's about to hit right now. So it looks like the pivot scalp is kind of what's hitting right now. There we go, pivot scalp. So if you guys want to go back to the original OG strategy, pivot scalp, I mean, it's working. Right there. We had 3 back-to-back pivot scalps that just hit full TP. So we had one right here. We had one right here. And another one right here. 3 back-to-back pivot scalp entries, guys. So if you want to go back to, this is basically the main strategy we applied like around COVID time. The thing is, I didn't really look at the strategy very much after COVID because the volatility kind of slowed down a bit. This strategy requires a bit more volatility, but you guys can see that it's still working perfectly fine. So if you guys want to apply the pivot scalp strategy, again, it's very simple. You're looking for price to push up, retrace, and then look for the buy signal to move in the direction of the trend. The trend here is bullish, obviously. It's pretty clear. So price pushed up, retrace down, buy signal, full TP. And if you want to go for a bigger TP, you can go for the ATR. You don't have to go for 15. Same with this one again right here, right? Price pushed up, retraced. So price pushed up, retraced, buy signal right there, full TP. And again, that's the strategy that Kip used over here. And he locked in 6,000 per account. It looks like he took like 3 trades and they all hit full TP. 3 to 5 trades and they all hit full TP right here. So just a reminder, guys, like a lot of the older strategies, they still work perfectly fine. It's just up to the person who's applying the strategy. For me right now, I'm kind of just sticking with the with the market flow entries. But if this is the case and the pivot scalp entries just keep coming up, then I might go back to those pivot scalp entries. Yeah, exactly. CJ said the OG momentum scalp is hitting too. So yeah, also if you guys are looking for the momentum scalp is basically looking for the pivot for the buy signal to align with the trend meter. So the trend meter down here is green, right? Basically, when you line them up, so green, green, full TP. Green, green, full TP. Another one right here, green, green, full TP. So if you guys want to combine those two together, pivot scalps and momentum scalps, I mean, you guys can do that as well. All right. So I'm marking up pretty much all the strategies that are hitting this week. If that becomes the case and we see tomorrow that a lot of pivot scalps are hitting again, then maybe I'll start to implement the pivot scalps into our entries and not just the market flows. There's a possible market flow here setting up, guys. Looks like this is a pretty volatile candle, so this might actually set up for a decent market flow entry if it does come up. So there's a pending market flow entry right here, hasn't filled yet, has about 12 seconds left on the candle. It's got 5 seconds left. It's probably not going to fill. You can probably look for entry on the next candle here. Same thing. So if this swings back up, this could be a possible market flow entry. So the market flow entry is now active. I'm not in this position, guys, just a heads up. I'm done trading for the day on my own personal accounts. I've already hit my limit for the day. So not taking any more entries here on my own accounts. But I'll keep looking for entries here for you guys. So the volatility here is a little flat. I mean, it's kind of doing what we anticipated. So there goes the market flow. It's still kind of just sitting there. Again, this is the type of market flow that you don't want to be in because of the low volatility. Again, you don't want to be stuck in a trade where it just goes sideways for a while and then it breaks out, right? I mean, it can break out in your favor, it can break out in the other direction, but there you go, the market flow, it's in profit. If you were taking it with the trailing stop, your trailing stop probably would have been filled by now. You probably would have gone stopped out in profit at 10 points. But again, it's still running. So typically, if you're using the trailing stop, your trailing stop would have moved at 12 points. So it hit 12 points right there. Your trailing stop would have moved to 10, and you would have gone stopped out at 10 points. But again, it's still running. So if you guys are holding it to full TP, still pushing right there, and full TP right there. So if you guys took that market flow entry, full TP, man, it's like the market is doing the opposite of what we're typically looking for. So like before, I was mentioning, trades before 7 were like better because the volatility was higher. Now, pretty much every trade that happens after 7 is basically hitting because the volatility is lower, but it's a lot smoother. So this is what I mean about like having to adapt with the market. So again, if you guys took that entry there for market flow, and I swear, guys, full TP on that trade. I didn't take the trade because I was done trading for the day. I'm capped out with my losses, unfortunately. But again, there may be another market flow entry right here. So if this swings back up, possible market flow. Hasn't filled yet. But again, like I was saying earlier, guys, this is why you should never stop trading, because if you stop trading, you're not going to be able to adapt with the market. The market's always going to be shifting. It's either going to be directional, it's going to be sideways, it's going to be ranging, it's going to be choppy, it's going to be whippy. It's going to be like all types of things. And if you're not able to follow the market conditions, you're going to be lost when you come back to the market because it's not always going to be moving the same. Like I think is Johnny here right now? Yeah, Johnny's not here today, but Johnny, he just talked to me about that recently too. Like he took a week off. And it's harder for him because he has work during this time. But he took a week off and he came back and he was just so confused with what was going on with the market. So he was back last week and he was doing good, but then of course he took another break. So he's not really able to stay consistent right now. All right, so there's a market flow entry here that's currently running, guys. Again, it's not the type of market flow that you want to be stuck in because you don't want market flow where it goes sideways like this. It'll probably push up and hit TP, but you don't want to be stuck in a position for more than like, I'd say like 2 minutes. Once 2 minutes hits, you got to start thinking about it. Do you want to pull out early for profit or do you want to risk it? For me, I'd probably pull out early for profit or just at least move my TP a little closer for it to trigger. So we were like 2 minutes into this market flow entry. It's pushing up to its TP. Looks like it'll probably push up, maybe spike to its TP before coming back down. All right, so price is still pushing up. Let's see, at this point, I probably would have moved my stop loss on profit. And I probably would have gone out for a slight profit there. We'll continue following it, but this is how you got to think on your feet sometimes because when you get caught in this consolidation, like I said, price will break down in either direction. You're either going to get lucky and it's going to push in your direction where you want it to go, or you're going to get unlucky, it's going to push against you. But this is like the third candle in. Now at the fourth candle. Let's see. Tarn's asking, man, how to lock the lot size on NinjaTrader. What do you mean by that, Tarn? Is it because like every time you take a trade, it changes your contract size? If you want to keep it set to like a certain contract size, okay, so what you have to do is you have to go to ATM strategy right below it, or wherever your ATM strategy button is, and then create an ATM strategy. So when you go into there, you click edit, you go to order quantity, you pick your TP stop loss, you save it as a template, and you push OK. Once you do that, it's just gonna automatically leave it at that contract size. So it'll automatically leave it at that contract size and that TP stop loss. All right, guys, so another full TP right here for a market flow. So you guys can see the market flow entries are hitting. It's just the entries we took earlier were just, they just didn't play through. So like I said earlier, you can't really veer off your trading plan, right? Like my trading plan is to take market flow entries. As you can see over here, we had about 3 or 4 market flow entries that came up. Unfortunately, we got caught in the only ones that lost. There was 2 over here that lost in the beginning, but everything else is hit. Like every time another market flow entry came up here, full TP, full TP, full TP, full TP. So we had about 3 market flow entries that came up, or 4 of them. One right there, one right there, one right there, or like 3 right here, actually, that came up. So this is why I say, like, you can't change strategy just because your strategy is not hitting. So for example, over here, unfortunately, I get caught in the losses. So like I took 2 losses right here, but if I was able to keep going, there are like 4 wins right here that are pretty much back to back. So it was 4 back-to-back market flow entries that happened over here. I just got unlucky taking these trades over here. They were good setups, but I took them as losses. And then everything else that happened over here, I'll pretty much hit. So I'm going to stick to my market flow entries, guys. The strategy still works fine. It's just the timing of the market is really what kind of screws it up. If that's the case and this is what's happening, then I might just have to lower my risk even more. So I'm currently at a 0.5% risk. If this is the case and there's more entries that are coming up and I end up getting caught in the beginning where the bad entries happen, then I'll just have to lower my risk to like 0.2%. And then in that situation, I can take 5 trades a day versus just 2. Yeah, no problem, Tyron. I know the NinjaTrader platform is a little confusing unless you have someone to kind of explain to you what to do. There's a lot of features on there. The NinjaTrader platform is it's very strong. There's so many things that you can do and customization tools that you can use, but you kind of need someone to explain how to use it because there's no tutorial anywhere. Even myself, I still have to play around with it to figure out how to do things. All right, guys, so there's a possible market flow entry again right here setting up. So what I'm glad to see is that the market flow entries are still hitting. That's a good sign because if the market flows here are still hitting, then the losses here are just it's the cost of doing business. It's like the cost of trading. You just have to brush off those losses and not get too biased by them. Because this is what I see what happens with a lot of people. They'll be applying a strategy that works very well. They have a couple losses, and then they're like, oh, the strategy doesn't work anymore. So then they stop using that strategy and they change to something completely different. And then you can see over here, see if I stop. So for example, we lost two market flow entries right here. If I would have been like, okay, this strategy sucks, I'm not going to take it anymore, then I would have missed out on all of the other entries that came up here. There's four back-to-back wins that just happened here, right? And then probably even more wins tomorrow and the rest of the week. It's just we got caught in the chop over here. Price ended up getting super choppy. It actually moved directional here, and then it played perfect. And I think there was another one right here too, right? Drew, is that the one you're talking about? I think it was this one. I mean, there's a lot of entries that are coming up. It's just this market's not consistent. So if we had a more consistent market, so like for example, if we just so like say if we just ignored this whole area right here. Say if like this area never happened, right? I mean, it's not realistic, but just say like for example, say that this was like invisible and this wasn't actually happening. This is the type of market that we're actually looking for. See how this is a smoother push up? This is the type of market that we typically want to trade in. This is where we want to gravitate to. But unfortunately, sometimes this happens over here where you get caught in a lot of fake outs, whipsaws, and then you just have to eat those losses because those are all part of the game. Like basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to stay afloat. So let me see if I can kind of show you guys here. So I just like to visualize things for you guys because it's a lot easier for you guys to see what I mean by that. So like say, for example, Monday is choppy, losing day, right? Tuesday's directional, back-to-back winnings. Rangy day, few wins. Fake outs, losing day. And then on a Friday, directional back-to-back wins. So like this is kind of like what trading is all about, guys. It's about just staying consistent because not every day is going to work in your favor. Some days we have like Monday through Friday are all perfect, but this is like a typical week, right? You get like today, for example, it's a choppy day, losing day. Tuesday could be directional back-to-back wins. Wednesday could be a rangy day. We take like one or two trades, a few wins. Thursday could be fake out, losing day, and then Friday again maybe a directional day for back-to-back wins. You guys have to see things as like from a bigger perspective. Because I feel like with a lot of people, if you have like a losing day on Monday, you're like, okay, I'm gonna change my strategy completely. And then what happens on Tuesday? Market's directional. You end up losing all the trades on these days, on this day again. And then Wednesday, you try to do the same thing. It's rangy. You lose all your trades again. And you just end up going in a downward cycle. So I know like one of the main questions that we get from a lot of people is like, what strategy should you use, right? And there's no one strategy. There's a bunch of strategies that you can use, and it just depends on like what fits you specifically. For me right now, market flows fit me specifically because I like the one-to-one risk. And when the market's actually moving, it does work pretty well. Like for example, this whole area right here, if you took any market flow entries right here, there's a whole bunch, right? You can see there's like, let's see, there's one right here that may have happened. One right there, that green candle. One right here, another green candle. Price came up, another one right here. So like basically three entries that came up right here back to back. possibly this red candle too, if it swung up before it came back down. So there's basically about like 4 market flow entries here that could have hit if I would have just been trading right now. But I mean, it's all good. So in order for me to not trade on tilt, like I said, I basically lock myself out of my own account, which is just it's just for my own protection, basically, so I don't end up making some more dumb mistakes. All right, guys, 7:44 right now. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I think I might be wrapping this up pretty soon. All right. All right, guys, I'm not really seeing too much happening here. As you guys can see, price is currently now above the range. But the thing that you want to be careful for here is a fake out. So be careful for the fake out and a correction back into the range. Ideally, that's usually what happens. So there's going to be a couple different scenarios here that can happen. Price is currently above the range. One scenario is a fake out will happen up here and it'll come right back into the range. That's scenario number one. Scenario number two is price will retrace, retest the range right there and come back up higher. Or best case scenario, price kind of consolidates here for a little bit and then just climbs up higher from there. So there's 3 different scenarios here. You don't want 3 scenarios, you want 2 scenarios. So once you're able to cancel out one of the scenarios, so for example, if price doesn't climb up from here, then okay, great. You can just cancel that out, right? That's no longer going to be a scenario. You basically want to bring it down to 2 scenarios. So you either want price to climb up from here and continue climbing, that's going to be one. Or if you can cancel that out, you want to look for price to break and retest and go up. If you can cancel that out, then you can look for price to come back down into the range, right? Whenever you guys are doing your analysis, you want to have basically two scenarios. You can have more than 2, but if you have more than 2, then your chances and your odds of winning that trade are very unlikely. Because you can, if you're 1 out of 3, your odds are very off at that point. So now price is pushing up. So if price continues to climb up from where it's currently at, which one can you guys cancel out? You can cancel out the fake out back into the range, right? So once price continues to climb up higher, you can just cancel out this 3rd scenario. And now you have 2 scenarios. It's either going to be correction, either push up higher or correction back down to the range here. Makes sense, guys? It's pretty simple. I mean, I feel like a lot of people like to overcomplicate trading, but like realistically, there's only like 3 things that can happen here. It's price either goes up, price comes down, and then when it comes down, there's 2 things that can happen here. Price will either bounce off this, or it'll come back down further, right? So just keep that in mind, guys. I mean, I feel like a lot of people out there just try to confuse people a lot. That's the thing that annoys me the most when I see like a lot of people advertising trading strategies and stuff like that. They really try to confuse the person so that like you just never really get it. And you kind of just try to learn their stuff, but realistically, there's only 3 ways that price can go here: up, sideways, or down. Sideways is fine because, price will go sideways for a little bit and then eventually it'll climb up, come back down for the retest, or reverse down back into the range. So just keep that in mind, guys. I mean, if you guys can just remember those 3 things, that's all that you really need to know with trading, honestly. Like, so my tools over here make things easier though. So it's easier for you to see where price is going. because you have the pivots here, you have the trend meter, you have the divergence. This kind of gives you a heads up. So like even though you're using those three examples that I just showed you, you have the tools here so you can see where price is likely to bounce from, right? It's going to come back down, bounce up, or if it comes back below the pivots, back down further, or if it goes up higher to the next level. So, like I've told you guys in the past, my tools here aren't required. You can see I showed you the analysis here. It's just not as easy to see. So here you can kind of like eyeball where price is going to go. But if you have my tools here, my pivots, my trend meter, my divergence, my levels, etc., my sessions, you have a better idea of where price is going to bounce from. So like I told you earlier, one scenario here is a retest. You can see why price is having trouble getting down to this retest, right? It can't get down to this level because what's in between? The pivots. So that's why it can't just like come down so quickly. So like if I was to like basically put a point-based system here, my guess is that price is going to continue climbing from here. I think out of my scenarios here, I think this is probably what's going to play through the scenarios. It's either that one or it's going to be the break and retest off the level right here versus the complete reversal. I'm not really expecting this to happen. Ideally, this is probably not going to happen unless we have some sort of catalyst to push price down. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm barely seeing the messages in the YouTube. Barack and Freddie. Yeah, Freddie said, I guess the volatility ain't the best for a Monday. I'll leave it to do its thing and get back to it tomorrow. Yeah, I'm on the same boat with you too, Freddie. There's a possible market flow entry here setting up, guys. So there goes a market flow right there. Looks like it's now currently active. It's not one that I would personally recommend taking because price is going sideways right here. But like I said earlier with my earlier analysis, I do think price is going to push up because the tools here do its job, right? Kind of tells you where price is likely to go, which is most likely to the upside. So we got a market flow entry running right here, but the volatility again is just very low. So like this right here, again, guys, is what you want to avoid. Right, you guys see this sideways move right here? This is where you don't really want to trade because price is just going to continue going sideways. Yeah, there's not really much going on, but price is likely to continue climbing up and hits TP here for the market flow. It's just the volatility is too low. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any more questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap this up pretty soon. There's just no reason to really force any trades here with the low volatility. It's 5:52 right now, about 8 minutes till 8. This market flow is probably going to hit. It's about to hit right there. Almost. Full TP. So if you guys take that market flow entry right there, full TP. Again, there's a lot of market flow entries here that came up. So let's go back and just take a quick look. So we had one right there. We had one right here. We had three right there. 4, 5, 6. So there was about 6 back-to-back market flow entries that all hit full TP today, guys, right here. So if you guys took any of the entries there for the market flow, I mean, it worked out perfectly fine around like 723. Unfortunately, I was already capped out by then, so I couldn't take any of these trades. But yeah, these market flow entries came through pretty solid. Let's see. Oscar said jump on the YouTube, but is Maddie ever coming back? Honestly, I don't know. He's busy barbering. He has his own barber studio, so if you're he's busy cutting hair like all day. So I don't think trading is really going to be in the books for someone like that. Like if you're working a full-time job, trading isn't really something that you can really do, right? Because you have to be trading like every single day. So I don't know. I haven't honestly. I'm not asking him about it because if he wanted to come back, he would have come back by like whenever he's ready, right? So I can't say for sure if he's coming back or if he's not, but I do know he's barbering full time. So and he has his own barber studio, so he's like that's kind of like main focus for him. So I don't know for sure if he's coming back or if he's not coming back. But again, trading is not necessarily for everyone. Like most of you guys know that by now. And if you have other things that are more important, then obviously trading is not going to go well for certain people. So yeah, if you like, this is a question I get from like a lot of new traders or people who want to get into trading. They always ask me if like trading is like something that's good for them or something that can fit for them, right? For me personally, I don't think trading is for a lot of people. Unless you can fully commit yourself to trading, you're not going to get good at trading. It's not a part-time job, right? It's not something that you can do on the side. I know a lot of people try to pitch trading as like something that you can do like an on the side gig type thing, but it's really not that. You have to like, especially if you're a new trader, you have to like really put yourself into trading. Like trading has to be your life for the most part, for like maybe the first year or first 2 years. Because if you don't, you're not going to get the skills to really get better at it. And it's just going to be a limbo, right? Another thing with trading too that I get from a lot of people is like if you have some sort of gambling habit or like you're not able to have self-control with like trading, then unfortunately trading is just not going to be for you either because if you're the type of person that goes into a cycle where you lose again, like for example, today I took two trades and I lost, right? So I took two trades for half risk that was equal to one loss. I understood the risk, so I took two losses over here. And then once I took those two losses, I only lost 1,000, but I already knew that was my limit. So I was like, okay, if I lost 1,000, I'm done for the day. There's more trades here that came up. There was like five back-to-back market flow entries that came up. But the problem with a lot of traders, or not all traders, but a lot of new traders, is that they're in that gambling mindset. So what happens is they lose a trade and then they end up revenge trading their way into blowing the account. And then when they blow the account, they just go back and they buy another account, right? They don't even wait a full day. They don't even wait like a few minutes. They'll blow the account, they'll go to Apex, buy another account, and then it just keeps becoming, an endless cycle. So, if you have that gambling mindset, you're probably not going to do good with trading because you're going to keep blowing accounts, then buy another account, then blow an account, and then buy 20 accounts and blow all 20 accounts and just keep doing that same process until you burn all your money. So, um, I mean, it's just a wake-up call for a lot of people, right? If a lot of people, if that's you, then you might have to step away for a bit at least, or find a way to get better, right? I know I'm not mentoring right now, but you have to find a way to get better because it's a it's a toxic cycle to be stuck in. It's like having a gambling habit, right? Like going to a casino and then you lose your money, and then you come back and then you do the same thing. You didn't really learn from it, and you just keep losing your money. It's that's kind of how trading is for a majority of people out there. So just a reminder, if you're not doing well with trading, the main thing that you can do is probably journal. I mean, journaling is the best thing that you can do. Like, I have my journal over here of my trades. I'll have to do this later, guys. Sorry, I was gonna log in, but for some reason it's logged me out of like everything because of my internet connection. But yeah, if you guys journal your trades, you can learn from them. But if you don't journal them, you'll probably just keep making the same mistakes over and over again. Let's see, CJ is asking, ever since the incident happened with my account last week, Apex has been sending me info on their copier. Have you heard about it? No, I haven't. So I don't use the Apex copier, CJ. Are you using the Apex copier? I use a, oh, that's weird. So they're just sending you copier info? What's the, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I use Replicon too. They haven't sent me anything. Is it like a widespread email or is it they're just sending it to you directly? Yeah, because they haven't sent me any. I mean, I haven't had any issues with their copiers, so or with my trades in general. So I just haven't got anything from them. Yeah. All right, guys, it's 8 o'clock. So if you guys have any more questions, feel free to send them in. You guys can message me on Discord. Otherwise, today's just one of those days where unfortunately I got caught with the bad trades in the beginning, and then all the good trades ended up happening after later in the session. There's another couple market flow entries here that came up, guys. So there's about one right here that came up. That was a full TP. Another one right here, full TP. This one right here is currently going to be running again. So the market flow entries are working very well. I'm going to put that in our notes over here as well. So market flow, I think we had like 7 entries that came up today. So for today, there was 2 levels entries that hit, 1 CV entry, 3 pivot scalp entries, and 7 market flow entries that pretty much hit towards the end. So I'm going to stick to my market flows. I just ended up getting caught in the bad trades earlier this session, but it's all good. It's part of the game. Let's see. CJ said, I'm going to send you the link. Apparently, it copies trades from Trade08 Ninja and TradingView. I'm going to send you a little sus, to be honest, because of what happened to my account. Wait, so Apex sent you that link? I find that to be, it might be a scammer, CJ, because if Apex sent you the link, they should have sent that to everybody. Yeah, you might want to check the email that you received it from. It's probably a spoof email. So it's probably not from Apex. It's probably a scammer that is just spoofing their email to look like it's from Apex. Because that's actually really easy to do. Yeah, so if you check the actual, because let me see, when you get an email from Apex, I think it's like a specific email that it comes from. Yeah, I haven't spoken with them in a while. Yeah, the email that it should come from, which should say support at apextraderfunding.zendesk.com. So if you ever speak with their actual, like the people you're supposed to be speaking to, that's the email that you would get it from. I'll post it in the group chat. Yeah, this is where it should come from. If you get an email from anyone else, it's probably a scammer. They made up a fake Apex email and they're just trying to send you something. Because I feel like if that was the case, they would just send that to everybody. But the thing is, Replicano works with it. Replicano does exactly what they were sending me, so I'm not sure why they would send you something like that. All right, well, anyways, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, we're gonna wrap this up. It's 8:02 right now, and there's not really much happening here on the chart. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here tomorrow for the next live session. So, all right.